Good morning, Lagos, Nigeria, and this is Television Tea Time. We are back, bringing the vibes, intellectual conversation, dope narration, analysis, and dissection on the illest show streaming live on Television Tea Time. And my name is Oibo Priscilla. As you know, I do not do this alone. With me here is Lydia, my co-host. She's going to be dissecting with me. We're going to analyze.
Of course.
How are you doing? How are you doing, Lydia?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Looking radiant as always.
Seriously, girl, down.
Thank you.
We are going to get straight into the trending videos. Let's start with trending video number 1.
You start or you can end up a patient. Got a mind that you step, blood on the pavement. Bad man, don't threaten me. You know, figure you don't die before. Father, forgive me my sin. You start or you can end up a patient. Got a mind that you step, blood on the pavement. Bad man, don't threaten me. You know, figure you don't die before. Father, forgive me my sin.
That's what happens when you have junior siblings.
All the time. Sometimes even older siblings.
The worst are older siblings.
Yeah, because it'll make you feel like you don't have a
if you don't do it, then.
And the younger siblings, they want to snitch. It's worse because for someone like me, I'm, like the middle child. So it's like it can come from either ways. Your older sister, come back and what? Is it that they won't answer you or they'll just make you feel like you don't have the choice, you have to do it.
Then.
And then the younger one, it's like, oh, if you make it an issue, at the end, sometimes your parents might just be like, how are you not older than her? Just wash it now. That kind of exactly. You're already washing it. I'm like, bro, can you just hold your dishes and chill till I finish and come and wash it yourself?
They have to wait till the last plate. That's when they now brought their
That's when they now remember they're going to
no,
bring.
that pain, no. Well, let's move on to trending video number 2.
No.
It's the fact that he hits him twice. Like, he didn't learn the first time. Besides, what kind of contraction did he make in his room? Like, what the hell?
Things people do for content creation. I don't think it's spoken enough about.
No, it's not.
Sometimes you have to put things in the most odd angles just to have like diverse shots of whatever you're trying to get.
I felt like he was trying to make that spinning
the 360.
Yeah, that 360 camera.
I think
that's what he was trying to do, but it ended up as a disaster.
So sorry.
Please do not try that at home. Do not try that at home. Very not safe. Let's move on to trending video number 3. just take a look at the people you are trying to save. Don't try to save yourself. With all the band-aids and the rest,
but to be fair now, I think being in the hospital sometimes can probably seem a bit like it can just seem a lot, like it's a lot. So I think anything you can do to relieve
to make yourself happy, even if you have a broken leg, still dance.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
That's what it's given.
That's not what I meant.
They are dancing, jumping around, and
somebody I literally the one with the drip self stood up. I'm like,
carry that drip.
Okay.
Why?
But it's fine, honestly. Let them give themselves joy. They should give themselves joy. They need as much as possible.
Please.
Especially
if you have broken legs,
yeah, please, if it's that one, please don't
do that. Don't do that.
But they should give themselves as much joy, especially with all the I'm sure after all of this, the medical bills won't be smiling. So at least
they should just
when you make the video in advance, at least by the time you go to get sad about the bills, you look at the video. At least I had fun, at least to an extent.
Well, let's move on to trending video number 4. That's what happens when you run away from school. So please do not run away from school with whatever person before you start to pick trash.
But the thing is, even apart from the actual school, I mean, yes, of course, stay in school, please. Please stay in school. But I think that's also what happens when you run away with somebody that doesn't have a vision. So it's no plan, absolutely none. Like that's supposed to be
just living in the moment.
Yeah, if the person was even in like maybe uni, you could still try because you're okay, fine. You finished the the basic level of education, that's primary, and then you have the secondary. So at least you might want to just wing it, and there's still a bit of not wing it, but at least there's still a bit of direction. But then secondary school, high school, I'm sorry, no.
I feel like that's a stage where all this craziness come from. Like they just want to explore and go crazy. They don't care about any other thing. They just want to live in the moment and have fun. I feel like that's where all this comes from. And without them knowing that, okay, later in the future, we need to actually plan for ourselves and the rest. With nothing in their head, they are running away from school with a boy.
Have you noticed
with a girl,
it's mainly. And of course, I say this not to be sexist, but it happens mainly with guys. You hardly see girls that are jumping out of school, they're running away. But you see guys.
I don't think that's true.
You don't? Okay, maybe
I've heard situations like even in all girls schools.
No, that's different now. That's different. They are just against the system. They're not necessarily anti-school. They're just against the fact that they have to be in an only girls school, and most of those only girls schools have very strict rules and all of that. If you actually study the trends, you see how they'll say they have to cut their hair, then strict meal time. I'm like, okay, fine. Even if you want to give them a regimen, to follow. Which one is the cutting of hair again? You have to start looking homeless.
I went to an all-girls school where I had to cut my hair. So, to a point, I actually do.
It's very unnecessary. Honestly, I went to school with someone who went to an all-girls school where she had to cut her hair.
Yeah.
And I think she told me something like they were following, I don't know if it's true, but I think she said following the sort of Chinese system of grading. And if you've...
Of grading?
Yeah, academic grading. So it's normal, if you have from a 75 and up, you've done really well. But for them, a B is 80 and then 90 stars. I mean, A starts from 90.
Yes, that's how it was actually in my school.
Yeah, as well. So it's just
that's actually how it was. They were more strict, and I feel like they were trying to inculcate this kind of thinking. They were trying to make them, or rather, their students as sharp as possible. Because their pass starts from 60, and if you don't get up to 60, you have to repeat a class. So it's something that is actually making the students to actually want to sit up. So basically, there's no time to actually say you want to run away from school.
But the thing is, to what extent? because I feel like sometimes children have, even we as adults, we all have like different ways of absorbing and like learning and all of that. And I feel like when there's pressure, fine, some people can can work under pressure, they can adapt, but some other people just see it as like, okay, I'm not just good enough, I'm not just cut out for this. Some people, no matter how much they try, they're just bad at numbers. They're just bad when it comes to numbers. Some people, no matter how much they try, they excel when it comes to numbers, but they suck at English. Do you understand? So it's like, some people just don't have it all. But it's like, to what extent, when you're putting in all these, strict rules, fine, they should, children should have a regimen.
It all boils down to like, also like family background. Because if you come from a family where you know that you have to actually sit up because they are going to like question and discipline you at home when you don't actually do well in school, then it's something that's, no matter how much you still put effort to still do your best, even if your best is not the best. You get what I'm saying?
But at the same time, that's why I'm wondering why, and I'm not saying it's entirely bad, but I'm just wondering why a Nigerian school is adopting, like should I say Chinese, an Indian style, because that is in their culture.
Their schools are very strict, and most of their parents are very, very, like, you must get it. Like, they are very, very into their children's education. So I don't think that's a bad idea, actually, adopting that kind of principle for schools, especially in cases where children are jumping out from school nowadays. So at least, like, they need to be more focused on the education and not just any other aspect. The students need to know that this is what's going to happen if you don't sit up. You're going to fail, you're going to pass, that kind of thing. So I feel like it's very necessary to an extent.
Okay. Okay.
Well, let's get down to the stories for today. Nigerian actress Iyabo Ojo, daughter, marries at 23. Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo is celebrating fulfillment of her long-held wish as her daughter Priscilla is set to marry Tanzania singer JumaJux. Iyabo, who gave birth to Priscilla at the age of 23, had previously expressed her desire for her daughter to be engaged by that age. The actress' statements about the power of spoken words has gained attention as her prophecy seems to have come true. Her prophecy, she must have been like, I'm 23. When my daughter is 23, I want her to be married as well. Like getting married at such a young age, I feel like parents are mostly always happy when they see their children start to enter into their own homes because they feel this sense of achievement that, okay, my child did not embarrass me through her growing and she's finally stepping into her new family. Like, it's a sense of achievement and fulfillment that, okay, I have done well as a parent and my child has done well as well. So I think it's a really good celebration for them. Like, kudos to you.
So I am, would I say 50-50? It's 50-50. I'm a bit iffy about it.
Okay.
So number one, I know because I watched the video and I know there was a point where she said, I don't want any in Yoruba, I don't want any Arubo marriage or something like that. Like, I don't want it to be that when you're old, you now come and start. She said, oh, don't date anybody that is not ready to marry you, which I applaud her for that. Which, I mean, to be fair, I'm not saying you might date multiple people, and the outcome is not necessarily for us just to date. You obviously hope that it will end up in marriage, right? But at the same time, I feel a lot of people, and of course I'm not saying her because I don't have inside the scope of her life, but a lot of people don't really know what they're getting into when they're getting married. So when you start giving an ultimatum or like an age limit or an age range. No, I don't
think that's more like an ultimatum. I feel like it was more like, oh my God, I really want my child to get married within this particular time frame. Like, you understand? I don't think it's.
It could have a more casual. It might have had a more casual tone, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like some people actually put that pressure, like.
When will you get married?
When will you get married? Okay. When will you get married? Like, oh, you see somebody and then the next thing you're doing is you're policing them about getting married. I'm like, do you know how serious it is? Unless you are the type of person that you don't mind though any small thing if this person is not you. And to me, that's just a sign you're just wasting time. You're just wasting each other's time, right? So it seems better, and because unless you are probably looking at marrying somebody that is maybe I would say at least maybe 4 or 5 years older than you, there's different things. It's not just you looking for a partner that is mature. You yourself, are you actually mature? Do you actually know what is
that's actually a very, very big topic, because you know how people run into marriage and also run out of marriage.
Exactly.
So it's actually very advisable to actually take your time. Nobody's chasing anybody. Enjoy the youth,
So I understand her case, because fine, she's had, she's obviously in her, she's having her career is budding, she's has a lot going on for herself. So I know it's not necessarily a matter of, okay, I haven't found myself and I'm trying to now be with a partner so I can find myself. So that's why I said her case is different. But I think, generally speaking, when you now start, I got married at 23, so you want to get married at 23. Allow people to see, fine. I'm not saying that you have to date 10 people before you now know what you want.
I think the mom was coming from the aspect of, or rather, let me not speculate too much, but in my opinion, it seems more like, how these young moms, how they feel, they are into this fashion kind of trend and lifestyle, whatever. So I think the mom was looking at it from the perspective of, I had my child when I was a bit younger. I would love for my children to also be paying when their children are growing up. You get this kind of view that they want to put out to the social media. So it seems a bit more like it's driving to that direction. But what do I know?
I mean, well, that is a nice ambition, as long as sincerely, it's not a bad thing. I've seen videos of people that got married early, and they're like, do you know what it means to be married early with no children? You get to really enjoy each other. You guys are working. You can actually spend your money on yourself without feeling guilty. There are the pros, and then there are also the cons. So if you are not ready, and the thing about life is, yes, you can prepare as much as you want, but sometimes life will just hit you. So if you're not mature in the necessary ways, in the context of marriage, even personally, I feel like the marriage might not necessarily stand the test of time, or you might just have like a really, really, really tough time, as opposed to when you've actually been prepared for it. You have things going on for yourself. And the truth is, everybody has different timelines. So I want to marry early. Okay, are you married? What are your reasons for getting married early? It's fine that you want to be trendy. I don't think that. I think it's good, but I feel like even if you don't marry early, you can still look good and all of that. It's not it's not about when you get married. I don't know if you're catching me.
Yeah, I get it.
If you're going to be trendy, you're going to be trendy. If you want to keep up with, and I don't think you should keep up with trends for fading and fading
lifestyle,
right? But if it's that is what you want to do, you understand, you can still do that if you want. Everything is a personal choice. Although childbirth and marriage, there are some, would I say, some levels of sacrifice and things, but generally speaking, it's not as if you now become ugly because you've had children. Or no, it's true.
But it's actually not that much big of a deal, I feel, because
when you're in one
like getting married at such an early age nowadays is not really something that people actually smile at, because older people already understand, and they go like, we do not understand what we're about to step into. That's why we are rushing into this kind of situations. But I feel like at the end of the day, like, if you actually feel in your mind of your mind and your heart of your heart that this person is someone that you want to actually end up with, then why delay, right?
I mean, just make sure that the other person is on the same page with you, and that both of you are actually ready, practically speaking. I think that's it for me. It's true, because once you're in, I mean, fine, you can come out, but it's like, how many times do you want to have to go through that before you now find the person? So, like, just take your time, and there's no rush. I know that social media rushes a lot of people, places a lot of pressure and all of that, but then, your life is still your life. Instagram won't be in your marriage with you. That's the truth. So,
but at the end of the day, you'll post it on Instagram if anything. But it is well. Our next gist is a Nollywood filmmaker, John Njamah, has voiced his concern about the current state of casting in the industry. He argues that based actors should be selected based on talent rather than beauty or social media popularity. Njamah believes this shift is crucial for Nollywood to maintain its originality and produce high-quality stories. He also highlights the need for professionalism and improved work ethics within the industry. I think his point is very valid, and it's something that the organization or whatever needs to actually look into, because they cannot be putting people that just have high Instagram following to come and be acting and be displaying nonsense. It's the truth. I think his point is actually very, very relevant, and it's something that all these directors and people that actually get this cast should actually look at. They need to actually get people that are authentic, people that actually know what they are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And actually put them on these movies. They shouldn't just get, okay, because you have high Instagram following, I think you are good for this job. No, I don't think that's the right call.
I definitely agree. I just wonder who he was trying to throw shade at.
It doesn't always have to.
No. It always stems from somewhere. He might not come out to say that, oh, it's because of this person, but when you look at it, because for him to say it, he must have noticed a trend.
Because you know the funny thing, that's actually what is happening at this, like currently. There's actually a trend that all these filmmakers or directors or whatever are using to actually pick casts for their movies. They're looking for people with high Instagram following, because that's also a way for them to boost the movie as well. And I don't think they are bringing out the originality of what they actually want to show. So what he's saying is actually something that they actually need to look into. If they want to get something that's very authentic, then look for people that are actually going to give you what you are looking for. Don't just look for Instagram baddies and beauty. Like, it doesn't really give much. It does give to an extent, but not so much, not a lot.
So I think it goes both ways. It goes two ways. So on one hand, they might. It's good to experiment, right? So, for example, you might say, oh, somebody that has high Instagram following but might not necessarily be an actress. You might experiment with is quote unquote maybe celebrity or social media influencer, and the movie does great because they're able to embody that role. So there's room for experimentation, but at the same time, it's like, imagine if you had to pick between two people, one person that you know is fit for the role, and then you now pick another person because that person is more appealing. I think that is wrong. Sometimes you can experiment, but I think, you know, like I would say 90% of the time, you shouldn't really compromise for an experiment. No, it's true, because I think a lot of stories are being watered down because of things like this.
I don't think these are experiments. These are just things that they're actually just using their head to go like, oh, I like this person, I don't know this person. I feel like that's what is actually happening right now in the Nollywood industry, because most of the movies that you're seeing, there are only people that you know that are very, very, very active on social media. These are not people that you actually see on like your on your social media and stuff. So I feel there's actually a trend. This is actually something that has been going on and on and on.
Maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but I still feel, you know, generally people go through that experimental. Or maybe everyone just seems to.
But they cannot experiment on these kind of things so often. Like basically every single movie you're seeing.
But it's the turnout that would determine. Like, I don't know if you're catching my drift.
But so we're not really talking about the turnout now of the movie or whatever. We're talking about how they actually pick their casts. Because when you look at these, most of these movies that are coming out, you'll be noticing that, okay, this person, by the time you check out their Instagram page, you notice that they actually have high following, and then their performance is not giving as much as it should give. You understand? So I feel like he's actually coming from a place of understanding, and like what he's seeing is not what it should be. I feel like that's why he's coming out. It doesn't necessarily have to be throwing shades at anybody in particular. That's my opinion. And
the same, but I do agree, you know, duty should not be the priority. You know, you should definitely pick your cast based on who can embody the role well.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to music break and we will be back. Yes, I hope you enjoyed our little break. I hope it was able to, rejuvenate that spirit. But let's get down back to business. We're going to be talking about Tyla, the South African singer who has made history by winning Best Afrobeats Award at the 2024 MTV Europe Music Awards (EMAs). She beat out a strong field of Nigerian artists, including Burna Boy, Tems, Rema, Ashake, and Arya Star. This victory marks a significant milestone for Tyla and showcased the growing global influence of African music. Well, she is definitely a very strong artist that is just coming up. So it's really nice to see her winning all these different kind of awards, starting from her previous song, Water. That's where she decided to get all these views and recognition.
I have nothing against Tyla winning. I just don't understand how is Tyla's genre actually Afrobeats? Like these are the issues. Like I'm not even. Maybe I'm the one that just
classify all African music under Afrobeats.
I think that's the problem. No, it's not every single African artist that does. Some people do. Some people do world music. Some people do Afrobeats. Mm-hmm. Some people even. Not that I'm clearly aware, but some people do jazz because there are different genres of music. Mm. So I don't know. I don't know. They should have focused on people that are doing that are actually in the Afrobeats genre and then nominate them from there. And I don't know, I'm not even trying to take this in another direction, but before you know it, just watch. People will also make it a race thing.
A race?
Of course. It's
Why?
the European awards, like.
But I know, like an Afrobeats segment as well, and Tyla is Priscilla. She's African.
Priscilla. So Tyla is African, but Tyla is mixed.
Yeah, she's mixed, but that doesn't make her less African.
I'm not saying it makes her less African, like in the actual sense of it, but we're dealing with people that would pick anything that is closer to them than something that is distinctly far away from them. Uh-huh. And honestly, that's the truth. Nobody will come out to say we are picking, and I'm not trying to insinuate, but I'm just telling you, like, just so that you can, be aware. Nobody will ever come out to tell you that we are picking this particular artist because they are because they are like sort of racially closer to us. Let me put it that way. Like because they are closer to my skin. They will never come out to say
that's something that should be considered. Priscilla. I know that her music cannot really be compared to the other nominees that were there, and I do not want to say I do not know why the award was given in that manner, but I feel like that should not be a reason for her to win the awards. From my opinion, I think the reason why she won the award is because of her social media presence, because you know how people on TikTok especially and Instagram, they love Tyla. I don't know if it's because of her dance moves and the rest, but I don't think we should think racist in that aspect for her winning the award because she's mixed.
So you said something. You said it shouldn't be, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't.
Yes, that's exactly true.
It shouldn't be, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't.
No, I mean, like, we shouldn't use that to like say because she was closer. I think that's even us being racist.
Yeah, no, I'm not even trying to be racist. Yeah, I'm trying to bring out the different perspectives, but I feel like for me the number one, I mean unless I'm the one that is not just aware, but the last time I checked, was she actually doing Afro? It's actually the truth, because I remember just like I forgotten what award it was when Tems won Best Gospel. She doesn't do gospel. Do you understand? Even if you come to tell me that that song, and let's not even get into the video of that song, but listen, maybe if you come out to say, okay, that song she actually talking about her and God, we need to actually be addressing these things, because yes, you can have a song that, okay, you're doing it to thank the Lord and blah 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 blah, but that's not your genre of music.
But
do you understand what I'm saying?
It is Afro. That's the funny thing. It is Afro.
I'm just saying I don't actively like. Not that like I'm not a fan. Maybe I just don't actively like listen, like deliberately listen to her songs, and I've not really gone to. But then I'm just saying that I feel we should be nominating people and like focusing on them based on their actual would I say like their genre. Maybe I just need to confirm what her genre is. Do you understand? And that's why I'm saying like there are different factors. Now I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve it or her music was not, but let everybody be in their proper categories, please.
I think she was put in a proper category, but I just feel like she wasn't the one that was supposed to get the award because she had very, very tough competitors in that category. So I just feel like them giving Tyla the award was based on what people on social media prefer. It wasn't based on what it was actually supposed to be. Like, I don't know how to put this per se, but I feel like her songs are not, like, they cannot really be compared to other artists that were on the charts as well. Because we had Burna Boy, we had Ashake. Forget that they were Nigerian artists. It's not about Nigeria and South Africa in this case. It's about what the songs were actually like. Because if you actually listen to Tyla's song and then you listen to the other artists, you know that these songs are not really like, probably because I'm Nigerian or something, but you don't really vibe properly with her songs compared to the other ones. I'm not saying that it's less Afrobeat or anything. I'm just, from my perspective, I think it wasn't weighed properly. That's the word.
Okay, so here I'm reading. It says that Tyla's musical style is characterized by a fusion of the pop and amapiano genres, which means that she's not even Afrobeat. It's just because Nigeria, or let's say like now Afrobeat artists are, sort of heading down, some of them are heading down the amapiano route. So it now makes it seem like, okay, this is, what Afrobeats. But generally speaking, I think Afrobeats has generally music anyways, but I would say like Afrobeat has been sort of fluid. So, hopping in and out of different styles.
Like Afrobeat is basically a fusion of amapiano as well. If you listen to most of Nigerian artists' songs, it's mostly a fusion of jazz, amapiano, what else? Pop. Like that's what most songs are saying. Let me see. Are you saying that the people that they put on the category should have not been on the category? Because Arya Star's song, some of the song I think she was nominated for I think it's jazz.
I mean, so I don't know, but I just feel like based on what we're reading now, we know that her primary genre is not even Afrobeat. So it's like, why is she being nominated for that cast? If it was a different thing, fine. Maybe if it was like, most trending something on social media or something like that, it would make more sense. But let everybody be apportioned into their categories, and that's part of the reason why I said, to an extent, it now gives it a more like,
they're not putting them in their proper category.
No, it gives it a more you now see it through a like a more racially biased lens, because it's like, okay, fine, this person, this is not her category. Fine, she's doing well, but it's like, this is not even her category. Why are the people that are primarily like championing that genre, why are they not being focused on? Then you now brought Tyla, and then Tyla won. It's like even the other one where she won, and then people were now making it fine. I know they were making it in Nigeria and South Africa thing. Fine, I'm like, okay, I think I don't remember the details, but I think that one was even different. But it's like, now, okay, this is actually Afrobeats. It's a different thing to say, okay, your music is being streamed by a certain, so for example, now maybe like a lot of Nigerians stream Tyla's music. That's different. So if you're going to do it based on the numbers of stream, or I don't know how they would coin that category, that's fine. But not, okay, this is Afrobeats. We know what the sounds comprise of Afrobeats, regardless of the fluidity it has had in recent times. And then you are bringing Tyla, just like how you brought Tems into gospel. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is why. So if you actually watch now and you see anybody else bring it from a racial perspective, don't be surprised, because that's what it is.
I will actually go against that racial perspective. I feel like if you actually want to say something that's like Tyla isn't supposed to be within that category, and then she was put in that place because of the fact that she's mixed, I don't think that's a really okay point of view to look at it from. Probably define Afrobeat, she's not supposed to be there, but I don't think race should actually be a factor. Probably it is, probably it's not, I don't know, but I don't think that should be a reason for...
It's not a written down factor.
True.
That's the truth. It's not in the, let's say they have like a code of conduct or a list that they use to outline all these things, the numbers, the, you know, the style, the creativity on the... Fine, no, it's not written there, but it's just... See, I don't even want to say... I'm telling you, I'm like, I feel like because of course I need to be careful.
Yeah.
But the truth is that low key, I'm just going to end it there. That's the truth. So for me, you should start putting people in the right categories. Don't come and be bringing somebody else just because their music is streamed widely by certain by certain set of people, and then they are not coming to win awards. I'm not saying that it has to be only Nigerian. If a Kenyan decides to go into Afrobeats today, but the Kenyan is actually in the Afrobeats, I won't have a problem with it, and it's actually what it is. I will not have a problem with it because the numbers don't lie, and you know there's all of that. But you're not bringing somebody that's performing dance hall or pop or reggae or something else, and you're amapiano, then you're bringing
I feel like amapiano recently is mostly seen as Afrobeat as well. I feel like that's what people are looking at it. I feel like people are looking at it from the fact that it's within Africa. So because let me not lie, that's also the way I also looked at it before you actually specified. Yeah. I feel like people are seeing it from the fact that it's amapiano and Afrobeat. Like, what's the difference? I don't think there's even a category for amapiano because it's just a new whatever that just came out. So I think it's like basically Afrobeat and amapiano is just
amapiano
under one section at the moment.
Amapiano isn't really new. It's just because Nigeria is more on the Afrobeats, but then of course we started accepting the amapiano. If you go to South Africa, amapiano is the order of the day, you know, or as opposed to here where Afrobeats is the order of the day. So, but I still stand on my own. Let us be putting people in the right categories and selecting them based on they're working here. So pick the Rema, the Burna Boy. If the person is even Angolan, American, even if the person is not there, and they decide that they want to do Afrobeats, as long as the person is actually in that category and the numbers
was worth it.
Yes, and the numbers don't lie. Fine, but you can't bring another person from another category and then they're winning it. To me, it's all shades of wrong.
True, it does look a bit biased. But moving on, Miss Universe contestant Italy Moore from Panama has been disqualified from the pageant due to a violation of competition rules. Mora was expelled after allegedly visiting her boyfriend's hotel room without permission from pageant organizers. This incident sparked controversy, with Mora claims the decision was influenced by disagreements with the pageant director. Despite her attempt to appeal the decision, the organization upheld its ruling. But if there's been a rule that they shouldn't step out without informing the people in charge, I feel like, why did she do it? Like,
same.
Like, if you know that that's something that could lead to being disqualified, why risk it? You already went so far, winning Miss Universe in your country, only for you to risk it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like, it's not worth it.
I agree as well, but I also think that we also need to start looking into policies, you know, when it comes to things like this. I'm not saying she should have gone, but I'm also wondering what was the reason. Like, what could ever be that serious? Unless it's maybe security reasons or but like, what could ever be so serious to not
disqualify?
You know, like to disqualify and to get, you know, expelled. If they had some kind of like point system, it could be like, okay, maybe this has reduced your points and you know you need to redeem it through your votes or something like that.
I think the same as well. But what if their reason for telling them to always ask for permission before they leave is because of security, like you mentioned? I feel like that's a much more plausible reason because like they're in a country where like they're not very, very familiar with, like she's a Panama or whatever, and then she's in Mexico right now, only for something to happen to her. Like, I feel like they are going to be held responsible. So to an extent, I feel like I understand the direction from the organizers, like saying that she is disqualified because she wasn't paying attention or wasn't listening to the rules that they had set. What if she disobeys again, and then they would be held accountable? So I think,
I mean,
it is a plausible reason for them to actually expel
I understand. I feel like in that case, maybe some sort of agreement could be signed or something like that. So if you are going to take these if you're going to go on these type of escapades, you at least have to sign an agreement that we are no longer really responsible.
That's what they're saying. That's why they disqualified her, because she did not ask for the permission to leave, and she just left like that to her boyfriend's hotel. And like, what could have been that serious for her to even go to the hotel to meet?
No, what I even mean is that if she, so in this case, I'm guessing that it was a one-time thing. Yeah. So I feel like it shouldn't have been that, okay, we disqualified you because of this. It should have been, okay,
a warning.
You've got, yes, like a warning. And then when she comes back, it's like, okay, this is what you have decided to do. You investigate in the issue. Okay, it was not that serious. Well, that was wrong. But now we're going to make you sign an agreement that if you do this again, you know, it's either you're going to be disqualified or we're not going to be responsible for your security anymore. So if anything happens to you, we're not responsible.
That's very true. I feel
like
when I first heard the story as well, I was like, their decision was too harsh and was just too quick for them to just disqualify her in that manner. It almost seemed a bit
yeah, because some of these people have worked so hard to get to this point, and then you just disqualify. Sometimes it now starts looking like, oh, you people have been meaning us since. Like,
it looks a bit suspicious.
It looks somewhat suspicious. But anyways, I mean, the rules are rules, I understand. But I feel like at the same time, sometimes we should also sort of, you know, look into some of these things. Because I remember during the Olympics as well, I think I've forgotten his name, but there was one of the, you know, the athletes, and you know, there was apparently some kind of rule against religion. I think we talked about that on the show one point, and you know he basically did some sort of symbol of his faith. I think he like rose his hands up or something like that, and then it became a problem. Like, and I was saying, you know, at that time, that why is that a problem? It's not like he was going shoving his faith down people's throats or anything like that. He was just doing his own, you know, personal, giving thanks to God, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel, you know, a lot of times policies should always be reevaluated, should always be looked into, instead of just disqualifying somebody that has put in a lot of hard work. Because we know that these pageants, they are not child's play. The rehearsals, constant traveling, you know, and at the same time you still want to make it look authentic because you'll be asked questions, you know. So it's a lot of work, and I feel to an extent it's a little unfair that she had to be expelled, even though fine, I understand that she broke the rules, but it should have been a little bit of mercy now. Someone cannot do all that work. Exactly.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains. Thank you very much for watching Tea Time. You can join our conversation with the hashtag Teatim on any of our social media. You can also catch up on our previous episodes on our YouTube channels as well. Well, thank you for the people behind the PCR, or rather, the people behind the camera, and my co-host here. Thank you. And oh, you're so cute. And have a lovely day as well. Thank you and goodbye.